Hey everyone, I'm Mike and this is
Jose. So we're just going to kind of go over 5 of the most popular ways to generate listings in real estate.
in no particular order. Number 1, direct mail.
Yeah, direct mail is fantastic, and it's actually been the oldest method of generating real estate business since real estate's been around. Now, all it is me sending a letter or a postcard or something in the mail directly to the homeowner asking for the opportunity to list their home for sale.
So if it was me, I would do something that would grab their attention. So if I sent them postcards, it would probably be about the current sales in their specific neighborhood, because I know as a homeowner, I would probably look at that and go, oh, that one sold for $522,000, and that one sold, this one's like my house and it sold for $650,000, and that would really get my attention. But not, do you just send it once?
No, that's the thing. You have to be consistent.
Yes.
And then a lot of agents that get in the business, they don't realize that sending postcards or direct mail is a consistent game. And a lot of agents didn't save enough money to invest into their business. And what happens is after the first or second postcard mailing, they're like, oh, that's too expensive and my phone didn't ring right away. And it's not an instant result. It's more of a repetition over time. It's like a subliminal advertising method almost.
At least 12 months.
Number 2.
Number 2, phone calls to expireds.
Yeah. So the number one way that agents in our business generate new listings is by feeding off of the previous listing agent's failures. So if I went to the seller and said, seller, let me list your home. And the seller says, sure, let's list the home. And I can't sell that guy's house. Then what's going to happen is as soon as it expires, my contract with you expires, another realtor is going to start calling that seller saying, hi, I noticed your listing expired and I want to see if I could come and interview for the job of getting your home sold. What you're doing is from 8 a.m. to about 11 a.m., you're just doing nothing but prospecting and making phone calls. And nothing gets in the way of your prospecting because you're just constantly dialing for 3 hours in the morning, and then around 5 o'clock, they'll dial for another 3 hours.
Yep.
And what happens is all they do is just dial, 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 dial. When somebody answers, they read the same exact script, and their focus and goal is just to get the appointment with the homeowner. Now, the most important thing of what I just told you was consistency. Calling every day for your call hours without being interrupted. Number 2, using a script that will invoke the response from the seller that you want in order to set the listing appointment so you can meet with them and interview for the position of getting the property sold. And, doing it and focusing on this religiously. But it does have a payoff. You will generate listings and you will make money. Number 3?
FSBOs. What are FSBOs?
Yeah, for
FSBO.
sale by owner. So even in today's market, with technology and the information that people have at their fingertips through the internet, they feel that they're capable enough to sell the house on their own, which in most cases a lot of people are. But what they didn't really take into account was, I have a job that I have to go to, and I have a family and my own obligations. Now I have the extra added weight of having to sell on my home, arrange showings, be there for the showings, negotiate deals and terms. It becomes a little tedious.
Figure out the contract too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of agents that will step in and contact these for sale by owners and say, hey, I see you have your home for sale by owner. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm sure you're capable of doing it on your own, but if and when you can't do it on your own, I would love the opportunity to come and interview for the position of getting your home sold. After all, it is what I do for a living. So you do you, and let me handle the job of getting your house sold. So this is a very lucrative way of getting listings. You just have to know how to deal with these individuals, how to talk to them, and over time win them over so you can be the person that's there for them when they need your help.
Number 4, absentee owners. So how do you figure out what an absentee, or who is an absentee owner, I guess would be the
So
next
let's
question.
talk about that. Absentee owner is someone who owns a house but doesn't physically live in the house. They're
Right.
an absent owner. So usually in these cases, it's one of 3 things. 1, it's a second home and they don't live in it year round. Number 2, they're renting it out to a tenant who pays rent every month and they collect passive income. Or 3, that's an individual who owns a home and they determined that they were purchasing it and they don't live in it, they don't rent it out, they're holding on to it as an investment. Or maybe even they do short-term rental, whatever, who knows, but they don't live in the house. So you can find out who owns these properties by going on public tax rolls. And if you pull up the property address, it'll show you the physical address of where the property is located, but it'll also show you the seller's tax mailing address. That tax mailing address shows you where the owner physically lives. So if we pull up a house in Orlando, Florida, and the tax mailing address is going to Arizona, that tells us the owner lives in Arizona. So what do we do to try to generate that as a listing? Contact the owner.
Yep.
How do we contact the owner?
So we'd have to find their phone number or email or something like that. So how we do that?
Good old snail mail. Like, so
Yeah.
we might
Oh,
have to
yeah, yeah,
send
yeah.
them a letter
That's what I used
saying,
to do, send them a
yeah, you just send them a letter saying, hey, I noticed that you have a house here in Orlando, Florida. If you don't want to continue renting it or letting it just sit empty, let me sell it for you. Here's what I think I could get you for the price of the home. And that you usually invoke them to reach out and call you. But if you can't do that, there are companies that you can go to that will sell you public record data on these homeowners, or they'll give you their phone number or their last known email address. So you can try to contact them in those ways too.
The fifth one sort of goes back to, like, let's say I don't have the $8,000 to do direct mail. So I don't have that budget. And what's another option to farm a neighborhood?
Good old fashioned door
Door
knocking.
knocking, yeah.
So I actually, when I was in the business, I started this too, because I mean, I was young, I didn't have a lot of money, and I knew that this was a neighborhood where there was a lot of turnover, which means that there's a lot of homes that go for sale throughout the year. And I just started knocking on doors, and it's not for everyone. It takes people a lot of guts to go in and knock on a stranger's door. But what I did was I had a handful of flyers, knock on a door. If they answered the door, I'd have a conversation with them, just introduce myself, let them know I'm the neighborhood expert, and I just wanted to meet them. I'd give them my information and let them know that I have, I might be able to list their home or any of their neighbors that they might know. But then if they didn't answer their phone, then I would leave my leaflet on their door, so when they got home, they could see that I was there or my information, and it was free because I didn't have to send it in the mail.
Yep.
I just left it at their door. Also, people here do door hangers, right?
Yeah. Knocking on doors, though, and getting people to come and answer, a lot of people may be very upset that you're knocking on their door. And I remember the first time I did door knocking, and I did it with a partner when I first started. So he went on one side of the neighborhood, I went on the other side of the neighborhood. Everyone that I got was really nice, and everyone he got was really nasty to him. And it's all about how you present yourself. So when I would knock on the door, and like, for example, one of them had a wreath with Mickey and Minnie Mouse on there, and someone opened, I was like, oh, like you're Mickey and Minnie, I've never seen a wreath like that, with a big smile on my face. And then they smiled, and then it was so much easier to say, hey, I'm doing an open house this weekend, and I just wanted to just drop off this flyer about the sales in the area and introduce myself as a local market expert on real estate. And they were all very kind to me. Whereas when he knocked, they were all kind of mean, probably because he just went right into that business aspect instead of breaking the ice and building the rapport first.
So there you have it. Those are just 5 simple ways to generate listings in the real estate business, or 5 of the most popular ways. And we'll probably do videos in the future with some additional ways to generate listings, because there are
absolutely.
100
There's more.
ways.
There's more ways, yeah, for sure. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.